A dismembered corpse is discovered in the vault of a silver shop. The police initially believe it to be that of a convicted armed robber, but not everyone agrees with that theory. One of them is Decima Mullins, who calls on the help of private detective Cormoran Strike, as she's certain the body in the silver vault was that of her boyfriend, the father of her newborn baby, who suddenly and mysteriously disappeared. The more Strike and his business partner Robin Ellicott delve into the case, the more labyrinthine it gets. The silver shop is no ordinary one. It's located beside Freemasons Hall and specializes in Masonic silverware. And in addition to the armed robber and Decima's boyfriend, it becomes clear that there are other missing men who could fit the profile of the body in the vault. As the case becomes ever more complicated and dangerous, Strike faces another quandary. Robin seems increasingly committed to her boyfriend, policeman Ryan Murphy, but the impulse to declare his own feelings for her is becoming stronger than ever. A gripping, wonderfully complex novel which takes Strike and Robin's story to a new level, The Hallmarked Man is an unmissable pick for any fan of this unique series.
When a beloved wife and mother disappears, a luxurious condo building transforms into a potential crime scene, and the investigation begins. Can the detectives find her before it's too late? Bryden and Sam have it all: thriving careers, a smart apartment in a luxury condominium, supportive friends, and a cherished daughter. The perfect life for the perfect couple. Then Sam receives a call at his office. Bryden, working from home that day, has failed to collect their daughter from daycare. Arriving home with their little girl, he finds his wife's car in the underground garage. Upstairs in their apartment, her laptop is open on the table, her cell phone nearby, her keys in their usual place in the hall. Except Bryden is nowhere to be seen. It's as if she just walked out. How can she have disappeared from her own home? And did she even leave the building at all? With every minute that passes, and as questions swirl around their community, Bryden and Sam's past seems a little less perfect, their condominium less safe, their friends, neighbors, and relatives no longer quite so reliable.
The apocalypse will be televised. A man, his ex-girlfriend's cat, a sadistic game show unlike anything in the universe, a dungeon crawl where survival depends on killing your prey in the most entertaining way possible. In a flash, every human-erected construction on Earth, from Buckingham Palace to the tiniest of sheds, collapses in a heap, sinking into the ground. The buildings and all the people inside have all been atomized and transformed into the dungeon, an 18-level labyrinth filled with traps, monsters, and loot. A dungeon so enormous it circles the entire globe. Only a few dare venture inside, but once you're in, you can't get out. And what's worse, each level has a time limit. You have but days to find a staircase to the next level down, or it's game over. In this game, it's not about your strength or your dexterity. It's about your followers, your views, your clout. It's about building an audience and killing those goblins with style. You can't just survive here. You gotta survive big. You gotta fight with vigor, with excitement. You gotta make them stand up and cheer. And if you do have that it factor, you may just find yourself with a following. That's the only way to truly survive in this game, with the help of the loot boxes dropped upon you by the generous benefactors watching from across the galaxy. They call it Dungeon Crawler World, but for Carl it's anything but a game.
From TLC's Sister Wives star Christine Brown Woolley, a groundbreaking and heartfelt memoir about living in a family like no other and finding the strength to leave polygamy and the only life she's known behind. Christine Brown Woolley had always dreamed of having a picture-perfect family, beautiful children, an adoring husband, and of course, a sisterhood of wives to share him with. Raised in Utah by practicing polygamists, Christine knew her life was less than normal, but that didn't stop her from loving the full house of her childhood any less. Becoming Cody Brown's third wife in 1994, Christine finally found the big, happy family she had hoped for. When TLC's hit show Sister Wives premiered in 2010, Christine knew it was her chance to shine a light on the brighter side of polygamy. the helping hands, the lively discussions, and their unmatched devotion to each other. But the cameras also revealed a much darker truth. Now, in this candid tell-all, Christine shares for the first time the journey that led her away from polygamy and the bold path she is carving to live apart from all she has ever known. Moving, genuine, and insightful. This is a uniquely powerful tour de force of Christine's journey toward and beyond her time in the spotlight as a sister wife.
Sebastian Rousseau is a grumpy, hot-as-hell fire pilot who is too damn good with his hands. It's the perfect combination. But unfortunately for me, he's also my ex-boyfriend's dad. A chance meeting brought us together and a missed connection has kept us apart. 1 year later, a stroke of fate has us living under the same roof, which makes everything between us downright messy. Because even after all this time, he's still the man I think about when I fall asleep. The one I can't get over no matter how hard I try. He's working on mending a fragile relationship with his son, and we both know acting on these urges would be the ultimate betrayal. But I see the heat in his eyes, and that look of need that never fails to send a shiver down my spine. The mutual longing is borderline unbearable, and the simmering heat between us is downright palpable. We both know there are rules when it comes to situations like this. But then again, following the rules never has been my strong suit.
For the first time, Charlie Sheen, the star of Platoon, Wall Street, Major League, and 2.5 Men, writes the story of his extraordinary life in an unfiltered memoir. We can live the stories or hear about them later from others. I choose the former. Charlie Sheen should not be alive to write this book. But in the Book of Sheen, the movie and TV star who has defied the odds finally presents his story in his own words. Charlie Sheen was born the third of 4 children to actor Martin Sheen and his wife, Janet. He grew up on film sets, from his father's all over the world to his own in Malibu. There he made ambitious Super 8s, with a roster of friends who went on to become household names themselves, including his brother Emilio, Sean and Chris Penn, and the Lowe brothers. Sheen broke into movies in the 1980s, playing a hoodlum in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, a young soldier in Platoon, and an ethically compromised trader in Wall Street. But somewhere along the way, despite a successful transition to TV leading man in Spin City and 2.5 Men, Sheen descended into a vortex of extracurricular activities. Now sober, Sheen delivers a clear-eyed narrative of his highs and lows with humor, candor, and a vivid, captivating writing style that is uniquely his. The Book of Sheen comes across like a far-fetched, overstuffed novel of Hollywood life, yet it is all true.
Rylan Grace is the sole survivor on a desperate last-chance mission. And if he fails, humanity and the Earth itself will perish. Except that right now, he doesn't know that. He can't even remember his own name, let alone the nature of his assignment or how to complete it. All he knows is that he's been asleep for a very, very long time, and he's just been awakened to find himself millions of miles from home, with nothing but 2 corpses for company. His crewmates dead, his memories fuzzily returning. He realizes that an impossible task now confronts him. Alone on this tiny ship that's been cobbled together by every government and space agency on the planet and hurled into the depths of space, it's up to him to conquer an extinction-level threat to our species. And thanks to an unexpected ally, he just might have a chance.
Welcome to North Falls, a small town where everyone knows everyone, or so they think, until the night of the fireworks, when 2 teenage girls vanish and the town ignites. For Officer Emmy Clifton, it's personal. She turned away when her best friend's daughter needed help, and now she must bring her home. But as Emmy combs through the puzzle the girls left behind, she realizes she never really knew them. Nobody did. Every teenage girl has secrets, but who would kill for them? And what else is the town hiding?
What if the key to happiness, success, and love was as simple as 2 words? If you've ever felt stuck, overwhelmed, or frustrated with where you are, the problem isn't you. The problem is the power you give to other people. 2 simple words, let them, will set you free. Free from the opinions, drama, and judgments of others. Free from the exhausting cycle of trying to manage everything and everyone around you. The Let Them theory puts the power to create a life you love back in your hands, and this book will show you exactly how to do it. In her latest groundbreaking book, The Let Them Theory, Mel Robbins, New York Times, best-selling author and one of the world's most respected experts on motivation, confidence, and mindset, teaches you how to stop wasting energy on what you can't control and start focusing on what truly matters. You, your happiness, your goals, your life. Using the same no-nonsense, science-backed approach that's made the Mel Robbins podcast a global sensation, Robbins explains why the Let Them theory is already loved by millions and how you can apply it in 8 key areas of your life to make the biggest impact. Within a few pages, you'll realize how much energy and time you've been wasting trying to control the wrong things, at work, in relationships, and in pursuing your goals, and how this is keeping you from the happiness and success you deserve.
The world's most celebrated thriller writer and author of The Da Vinci Code returns with his most stunning novel yet, a propulsive, twisty, thought-provoking masterpiece that will entertain readers as only Dan Brown can do. Robert Langdon, esteemed professor of symbology, travels to Prague to attend a groundbreaking lecture by Catherine Solomon, a prominent noetic scientist with whom he has recently begun a relationship. Catherine is on the verge of publishing an explosive book that contains startling discoveries about the nature of human consciousness and threatens to disrupt centuries of established belief. But a brutal murder catapults the trip into chaos, and Catherine suddenly disappears along with her manuscript. Langdon finds himself targeted by a powerful organization and hunted by a chilling assailant sprung from Prague's most ancient mythology. As the plot expands into London and New York, Langdon desperately searches for Catherine and for answers. In a thrilling race through the dual worlds of futuristic science and mystical lore, he uncovers a shocking truth about a secret project that will forever change the way we think about the human mind.